Live, this is KLTW News at 11.
Good evening, and welcome to KLTW News at 11. I'm Bo Papadakis.
And I'm Mamacita.
Tonight, we'll look at the following stories. Trixie's hair gets a bit of a change. The Judds experience a crazy horse lady attack, and Tia finds she has a secret Valentine's Day admirer.
Superstar dominates the soccer field. Moose wrestles with his future. Meatball looks for a vet. Hannah seeks out new names for her baby. And Ruby celebrates 11 years on the planet.
These stories and more coming up.
But first, our top story tonight. More tree drama lands in the Judd home. Betty Squirmels, our tree correspondent, has the story.
It started out with two sick 40-foot pine trees in the Judds' backyard.
And those are the two trees we're going to be taking down today.
They asked a neighbor to help take them down. The first one came down without any problem. Fontaine thought the second one would be the same.
Just a couple days later, we got a knock at the door, and it was a painter. He was a guy from the city, he was from the neighborhood, and he asked if he could have the wood to make into furniture and sell. And he didn't look like he was that well off, and I'm like, you know what? Yeah, absolutely, help yourself. I'm going to help a brother out here.
The same guy came back 3 weeks later and said he would take the second tree down for free if the Judds let him have the wood.
I joked with him, I'm like, but I'd be really upset if you dropped it on my roof. Haha. Next thing I know, he dropped it on my roof. I'm like, really? No way that just happened.
He acts like it's no big deal. He acts like it's completely normal. And then he proceeds to take his chainsaw and start cutting the tree in half to get it off the roof. And I panicked and I pulled my husband aside. I'm like, tell him to stop.
Hannah and Fontaine quickly called two engineer friends from church, one who used to work for the Department of Forestry, and they said it was a good thing the Judds called.
BH came to help me fix the problem here.
Right.
And there is the problem.
As I drove up, I was like, wow, now that's a tree. It was huge. I was like, dang, that really did fall on their house.
Yeah, that's a pretty big cut right here.
And I used rope access techniques to keep me safe while I climbed up the tree onto their roof. And then I had a chainsaw and just started cutting branches out and dropping them off the roof. Just had to make sure that I didn't cut my rope.
If the guy had finished his cut, the bottom half of the tree would have smashed into the Judds' house and taken out the whole bottom section.
Probably would have done a lot more damage.
Okay, not too bad.
Luckily, the Judds had a lot of help to clean up.
Several of the school kids that were leaving school at that time came and started helping us clear branches because it was this giant mess. So it was really sweet of them.
Oddly, the painter insisted on coming back to collect the wood.
The day before, he told my husband, hey, you can't blame any of this on me. I was just being a kind neighbor helping you guys out. It's your fault and your kid's fault that the tree landed on the roof. Well, after that, the next day, he shows up again with his pickup truck and his chainsaw, starts cutting up the wood, and we're like, what are you doing? He's like, this is my wood. I cut down the tree like you said, and so this is my wood. And I'm like, no, it is not. You're saying that this is not your mess up here on my roof? This is not your wood. And he started yelling, this is my wood! This is my wood! And I'm like, no, it's not! Get off my property! Oh!
She got so mad. She did. She literally chased him off the property.
The Judds ended up donating the wood to a local school teacher who was teaching a landscaping class. So now the tree trunk is a bench at a local elementary school. Reporting from the Judd home in Orangevale, this is Betty Squirmels.
Thank you for that in-depth report, Betty. And in other news, Mahonri is cute.
Aww.
And now for an update on the sick baby calf. Dolly Matilda has the details.
After receiving antibiotics from an equine center, things really improved for little Meatball. The calf's breathing normalized and he began to eat and even play with the other calf. But suddenly he relapsed. The pneumonia returned and literally overnight he became deathly ill again.
We took the calf to an emergency visit to the only vet in town we found that said that they treat treated calves. And so I felt kind of uncomfortable though at this particular vet's because they kept referring to the calf as my baby and my kiddo. We named him Meatball for a reason. We were planning on eating him. But then I became more uncomfortable when the lady taking my information informed me the vet would probably want to order a series of acupuncture treatments.
You know, what were they planning on doing? Giving it spa treatment and a massage? I mean, it's a cow.
I mean, I'm not against acupuncture,
No,
but
it's got pneumonia. It probably
know.
needs antibiotics.
I just kind of felt like the vet was trying to milk me for all it was worth.
The Judds were on a tight budget, and when they explained to the vet that they could only spend another $300 max to save the calf's life, the vet switched gears and began pressuring them to pay to euthanize the calf. The vet wanted $150 to put the calf to sleep.
I'm pretty sure I could do it for a lot less than that.
The Judds opted out of the acupuncture vet and went back to the equine center, where they got more antibiotics for a mere $37. The calf seemed to be doing okay, but is still having labored breathing. I'll keep you posted as this story progresses. From the Judd family farm, I'm Dolly Matilda.
Thanks, Dolly. I wouldn't imagine finding a cow vet would be that challenging. At any rate, I sure hope that little calf makes it. And now it's time for our sports segment with Jetson Longshorts.
Thanks, Mama. Superstar 5 Jemima tore up the soccer field this season. She scored goal after goal, a total force to be reckoned with. One father came up to Superstar's mother after a game and said that nickname you gave your daughter is accurate. It's who she is. She really is a superstar. Superstar's mother chuckled and informed the dad that her daughter's name really is Superstar. The dad was confused and walked away quickly. At another game, the other team thought Superstar's team was named the Superstars and even did their team cheer "Good game, Superstars." In other sports, Moose tried his hand at wrestling during the football off-season. He's incredibly strong, but he learned a valuable lesson. Strength is only part of the equation. You have to develop your technique as well. Moose also learned the importance of proper nutrition.
If I ate real well the day before and the day of, I performed really well. I felt like Hercules. And if I didn't, I ran out of energy, and yeah, it was like night and day.
Valuable life lessons learned. I'm Jetson Longshorts, and back to you, Bo Mama.
Thanks, Jetson. In other news, Hannah Judd is pregnant with her 12th child and is about to give birth. Everyone has the same question in mind. What is she going to name the baby? We go now to Doodle Poodles for the story.
Not everyone thinks through names carefully. For example, I'm here in front of a bank. When your spouse asks you where you're going, they don't want to hear you say, "I'm going to rob a bank." Unfortunately, our friends at Rob a Bank didn't quite think that one through. For the Judds, naming a new baby is a serious endeavor.
You can't be too careful when you're naming your kids. I always have to see the baby before I can name them. For example, before Trixie was born, I really liked the name Sophie and I liked the name Savannah. But after I took one look at the baby, I'm like, oh, this is not a Savannah. This is not a Sophie. This is clearly a Trixie Petunia Pineapple.
The Judds also insist on incorporating family names. So far, the names of the children include Tia Rochelle, Caleb Washington, Trixie Petunia Pineapple, Ruby Buttercup, Superstar 5 Jemima, Falcon Jasper, Sassafras Sapphire Sophronia, Blackstone Bruce Leroy, Valkyrie Rose Fava Lynn, Royalty Ancom, and Mahonri Tori Barjona. 4 years ago, the Judds were surprised to find that their kids were listed on several websites, including one that was called Crimes Against Naming.
To set the record straight, none of our kids are named Turkosaurus yet.
I guess we'll just have to wait and see what the Judds name their new baby. Reporting live from Rob-A-Bank, this is Doodle Poodles.
Thanks, Doodles. And speaking of pregnant women, my co-anchor is also expecting here soon. Stand up there and show the camera. When are you due, Mamacita?
Well, actually, I was due 3 days ago.
Oh. Well, you're looking great.
Thank you. And now for a quick update on Trixie's hair. Trixie Petunia Pineapple was on the internet searching for natural ways to lighten her beautiful brown hair. She read that if you combine hydrogen peroxide with baking soda and sit in the sun for an hour, your hair will get lighter. Needless to say, it worked.
Come on, for goodness sake.
Oh no! However, it was not the color she anticipated. Her hair did not turn blonde, but more of an orange color. After a week of tears, Trixie accepted her new hair color and resolved to just use lemon juice to lighten her hair next time.
And now for a brief story of Tia's secret Valentine's Day admirer. Tia woke up to find the door of her home covered in hearts and kind notes. Tia was tickled. Rumor had it the hearts were from a male friend at school, but it turned out this heart attack was actually from Tia's good friends at church. It would seem not all heart attacks are bad.
And in the business world, kids don't love to work anymore. Hannah and Fontaine Judd are the creators of the product Kids Love to Work. We spoke to them earlier, and this is what they had to say.
I'm not going to say that our business partner turned out to be a total fraud, cheat, liar, and thief and embezzled all of our money. No, I'm not going to say that. Let's just say our partnership didn't work out. Okay then. Their new product is now called Captain Moneypants. Correction. The Moneypants Solution. It can be found at CaptainMoneyPants.com. And that's all we have at the moment. We'll keep you posted as more details emerge.
And now we go to Muscleman Moose in the field for a story about a crazed horse lady attack.
It was at this very spot that Hannah and her children almost got trampled by a crazy lady riding her horse.
My kids and I were walking along the sidewalk here to go to the playground. And I had all the little kids with me. They were on bikes and scooters, and I had the little one in the stroller. Meanwhile, there were some people over there at the horse arena riding their horses.
I saw this teenage girl. She's riding a horse. She was going straight towards a fence, and so the horse jerked away, and she just kind of fell off, and she hurt her arm.
According to eyewitness accounts, the people in the horse arena started yelling at Hannah and accusing her children of spooking the horse and causing the teenage girl's injury.
They said we didn't belong in the park, that we had caused the accident, that we didn't belong in the park, that it was a horse park and children and bikes and stuff like that shouldn't be there. But that didn't make sense. We were headed to the playground at the park. Why would there be a playground if kids didn't belong in the park?
One lady jumped on her horse and exited the horse arena and proceeded to chase after Hannah and her children on horseback.
The horse was not trotting, it was galloping. I honestly thought it was going to run us over and just try to trample us.
Hannah was screaming at the top of her lungs for help, and finally the lady stopped her horse.
She's galloping at me. I have little kids around me. I'm like, somebody call the police! Somebody call 911! Finally, she stops the horse and she goes, no one here is going to help you. Everyone here is on my side, and we have video to prove you hurt our little girl.
The lady went back to the horse arena, and Hannah hurried on to the park, where she met up with her husband Fontaine and oldest son Caleb, and informed them that a crazy person was after them and tried running over them with a horse.
I had no idea what was going on. I just told my wife, hey, calm down. Let's just play at the park. That's why we're here.
But shortly thereafter, a man in a pickup truck showed up and confronted Hannah, asking her if she was the lady that had hurt the little girl. Fontaine intervened, and the man pretended to leave.
The guy was psycho. He was like trying to follow my family home in his truck. And so we went over to the high school in an area where it was blocked off so cars couldn't go in there, so he would stop following us.
Both Fontaine and Caleb removed their shirts so they wouldn't be recognized and ran home to get the family car. While they were gone, Hannah and the other 10 children waited behind the school.
We're there, and this guy comes around the corner, and my oldest daughters and I are like, oh my goodness, that's the guy. Only he didn't have his hat on and his sunglasses, but then as he got closer, we looked, and the hat and sunglasses were in his hands. We pretended we didn't know who he was, so he started walking back to where we think his truck was parked, and right when he went around the corner, Caleb came running up and I said, okay, everybody grab your buddies, your younger buddies, and run that way.
They left their strollers and bikes behind, ran the length of the field, jumped the chain link fence, and piled into the car. They drove home the long way, checking to make sure they weren't followed.
I have no idea what the guy intended to do. Like if they were gonna inflict bodily harm, if they were planning on threatening us, or if they wanted to sue us. I don't know what the deal was. All I know is they weren't acting like reasonable. And we were just on a stinking walk to the park, to the playground. That's it.
Although Hannah hasn't been to the park by herself since, the good news is the Judds all got home safely. The moral of this story? Not all people who ride horses are as classy as Ann Romney. Reporting from Orangevale, I'm Muscleman Moose.
Thanks, Moose. What a strange experience. I hope I never have to go through something like that with my children.
I understand that's why horseplay is forbidden at public parks, because you never can tell with some people. Our final story tonight is a touching tribute to the girl who makes God laugh. Little Ruby Buttercup Judd just celebrated her 11th birthday. Here's a look back at her first 11 years.
Ruby was not like our other children from the very beginning. She was our little miracle baby. The doctors thought she had died in the womb because when I went in for my 3-month checkup, there was no heartbeat, and all the tests indicated that the baby had died. I was very distraught, but I asked for a blessing from the priesthood. I thought, hey, since God made this world, if it's His will, He can make this baby well again.
The next week, to the great surprise of the doctors, not only did Ruby have a heartbeat, but she was born 6 months later happy and healthy.
My little buttercup.
Doctors couldn't explain what happened. Ruby was a very delicate baby with big, pretty eyes. Emphasis on the big. In fact, they were so big we called her Buggy for a while. Other people always said she looked like Cindy Lou Who.
Although she's a little shy, she's a great actress with good comedic timing. Although she always ends up playing the nerd.
I don't give a rat behind because I'm moving in. I'm sick and tired of living in a van down by the river.
I'm pretty sure I partied before.
No, Kevin. I know for a fact that you do not party. You do not party.
You're right. Dave's a party guy.
Sweet! She loves opera music. She especially loves to sing the high notes. She loves ballet, only she's funny when she dances. She loves to draw and make crafts like this duck costume.
Ruby is a character.
Happy birthday, Ruby!
We love you. And that's all the time we have tonight. We'll see you next time, where we'll report on Trixie attending her first home birth, what the Judds do with all their extra milk, how the baby calf is faring, and maybe even another story involving trees. Also, please note that this will be our last broadcast with the call sign KLTW. Our new call sign will be KCMP because we are moving to Channel 14.
Be sure to tune in next time because around here, there's never a dull moment. Good night.
Today's episode was brought to you by Rob a Bank and by the Moneypants Solution. Parenting Simplified.